Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome back to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. Okay, so let's get some petty tea out. Let's begin. Okay, hot and cold, hot or cold. It's like if you want, a nice relaxing. Oh, yeah. The story today it still has me baffled. It's so new. This is such a new, fresh, yeah, add a little spicy to it story. And I'm still waiting for the part two. Yeah, let's just say I'm getting ready for my patty. I really am getting ready for. So, anyway, hot or cold, but then bundle up, especially up in the northern states. Because if you're watching this the day of, it's winter. It's like winter hasn't even started yet, but it's winter. Yeah, winter likes to, for all of the northern US states, it's like, hi, hello. Yeah, I wasn't invited yet, but I'm just gonna come and crash anyways, and I'm gonna throw tons of snow. Like, you guys like snow, you think it's beautiful anyway. But I do know that it causes the driving to be horrendous and awful and a headache and things. And I know school days, it's like sometimes the schools are gonna have to close because of it. But I'm pretty though, right? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's like uh, winter doesn't isn't official until I think next week. Like I think it's normally like a couple days before Christmas, something like that. But anyway, yeah, it decided to come a couple weeks too early. Yeah, and with such fever, like cold fever. It's like it's so cold, like negative feeling cold. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let me just start because this story is an example of how cold this guy's heart is, and I'm going to be talking about. And well, Mr. No Heart doesn't even have a heart to get cold, so maybe that's why he never cared about how he treated me and how just demeaning, awful, terrible, despicable he was to me. But yeah, if you don't know about Mr. No Heart, honeys, I have over 600 episodes. I talk about him so much. And why I broke up with Mr. No Heart, the abbreviation, I'm going to have a lot more pretty soon, but I've been talking a lot more about politics lately. But yeah, I'm going to have more well, I keep saying I'm going to have more Reddit stories and then I don't, but I have over 50 I have 50 to 100 Reddit stories that I have screenshotted and ready to talk about. So I will soon. But oh, before I forget, check out the Patreon. Yeah, it's like the link is, somewhere in, like, I try to put it in, like, or lately, I've been, showing the link more often because, especially when people try to call Black women liars about the treatment that we get, they were like, oh, they have a victim complex, or they always want to be the victim, or I have Black fatigue. Honey, we have the ism fatigue, especially the racism, the sexism. We have that fatigue. So yeah, why don't you check out my Patreon, because I've got hundreds and over 1,000 screenshots of proof. I'm still uploading, so if you're saying it's not 1,000 yet, babies, yeah, buckle your seatbelts, because every day, almost every day, there's some days where I just need some space from the horrific, terrible, stupid, idiotic, poorly educated men that wrote me and stuff. But yeah, check it out and you'll see that all of the tea I spill is true and organic and sweet, or sweet and patty. Yeah, I'm very sweet but patty. So okay, here's a story. Here's a story. But yeah, okay, check out Patreon. I have the free ones is majority of the river of racism. And right now, if you want to be able to look at all of the dating nightmares, $2 a month. So if you go to Starbucks every day, or if you go to like the gas station and pick up some snacks or whatever every day, it's basically that amount. And so just act like every month is like October. Treat my, subscription just like an extra snack day. That's it. That's it. But if you can't afford it, don't worry. It's like with the free one, I still have like I said, the River of Racism, and I'm going to be doing a couple more things with the free stuff. But while I'm working on the novel and the greeting cards and the candles and everything else, yeah, I'm a busy woman. Yeah, so it's still a work in progress, but I have plenty of goodies to share with you guys. So check it out because I know I have around 200 to 300 up right now. I know I can say that for sure. Probably even like 400 or 500. But okay, let's start the story because a couple months ago, I was talking, like with the whole dating apps. I've broken up with Mr. No Heart. That was 7 years, 7 years of a mistake. I repeat, 7 years of a mistake. And I kept wanting to break up with him, and it's like I was scared of being single, especially my undiagnosed disability was getting worse, and but then he was like the only person who didn't judge me based off of my walking. And people kept telling me, the people that live next door to him, oh, well, just be patient. It's like he's going to see how amazing you are. It's like because you are the nicest, sweetest, and everyone was giving me compliments, even his racist mother. And she was like, oh, you have to give him time. He has heartbreak from his divorce, blah, 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 whatever. And it's like almost everyone around. And then after I met his oldest daughter, it's like she's a treasure. She was a treasure. It's like she turned racist afterwards. And it's really funny how some people will like you, or some people won't be racist until. So they're still racist because like they even though it's like I have a black friend. Yeah, wait until that black friend does something. Then what are you gonna call them? Then what are you gonna do? Yeah, you're still racist. Okay. So, anyways, after the breakup, I got onto the dating apps, and if you guys have been watching, you already know some of the horrific stuff that's been going on. And if you've been reading the screenshots in the episodes, you already know what's been going on. And because November of 2022, I got home from a terrible date, and one that kind of traumatized me because I trusted this guy. And I already tell this story, but that's how I created my list of standards because I'm like, I'm tired of this. It's like I tried my best to be the best woman that I can be, but not for a man, for myself. And so I'm not going to try to find a man so that I can be the woman he dreams of. I want to be the type of woman that I am where he loves me for me and he's not going to want me to change. It's like a lot of men like, oh, you're beautiful, but it's like, I don't want you starting a business. He was like, oh, what are you doing investing? Investing's just for white men. White and black men tell me this garbage. Oh, and ladies, okay, if a man ever tells you that, if a man ever tells you that, don't date him. Run. Run. Okay, well, with my disability, I gotta put, my scooter on, the fastest speed or whatever. But okay, just mentally run, leave, block, don't have anything to do with him, okay? Because especially if you're going to start dating him and marrying him, it's like a lot of like some of the men might try to convince you to quit your job, just stay home. He'll pay for everything. But divorce is 50-50 for a reason in this country. And a lot of men like the younger girls, and a lot of men, especially if they don't get exactly what they want when they want it. I mean, and some females cheat and everything too, but especially the conservative, the old school, the red pill men. Yeah. And so, because especially watching divorce court, listening to a lot of these men, it's like, because a woman is like, well, he doesn't take out the trash and I need him to talk to me and I need him. Like some women literally tell him the step by steps of what they needed for them to not file for the divorce or whatever. And I can relate because with my ex boyfriend, Mr. No Heart, I literally told him what was needed. But he ignored me. He didn't care. He didn't pay any attention because he was like, she ain't gonna leave me. I could treat her any way I want to. I'm gonna treat her like garbage because she's not gonna leave me. She's just gonna have to settle. She's just gonna have to deal with the way I'm gonna treat her. She's stuck with me. And this is why I say I know why his ex wife cheated on him. I see why. I don't like, because at first, like when I first started dating him and he gave me this whole pity. Like, see, and ladies, when a man tries to blame the whole relationship ending on the woman, nowadays everything's blamed on the woman. So really pay attention, really listen, because time after time, all the men always say, like, oh, well, yeah, it's all her fault. She did this, she did that, and but like, no, there's something deeper, there's something bigger. Because especially with Mr. No Heart, I told him exactly what needed to be done, and he ignored me. He paid me no attention. He used me. He wanted, like, literally used the money that I owed. Like, he wanted to buy me a Christmas present with the money he owed me. But he wanted me to shut up about it because he wanted to be able to go back to his family members and brag that he got me and finally got me something more expensive than a stuffed animal. Because throughout the 7 year relationship, all he got me was stuffed animals. And I remember the last time he gave me one, it was like while my mom was in the hospital before yeah. And I was crying, but I wasn't crying because I was happy. I was crying because I'm like, this stupid thing again. But I knew I couldn't say that. So he just saw me crying. But he didn't realize I was upset. I was pissed off. But I was like, you know what? Whatever. It's something. It's better. Something's better than nothing. But at this point, no, that's a lie. Sometimes nothing is better than the minimal stupid garbage that some of these people try. They just want you to settle because that's all he wanted. He wanted me to just shut up, settle with what he was going to give me. While he bragged about giving his ex-wife a diamond tennis bracelet, and but then telling me, "Yeah, you're not the mother of my kids, so I'm never going to buy you that." Yeah. So when a man tells you what they think of you, pay attention. When a man keeps blaming the woman on the breakup of their relationships, pay attention. And when a guy Okay, yeah, because I have a couple examples before I tell you, because this is going to be a 2 or 3 parter. Because part of the story is that it's still not done with what I'm about to talk about. But there was one guy that I was kind of interested in around Thanksgiving. Like, we matched. He's business minded, I'm business minded. We would talk about our businesses and kind of like Tomas. And so it was like, so I'm really finding out what my type is because I was really starting to like this guy. And I'll call him Mo. Yeah, I'll call him Mo. And so we were talking every day. He would text me every day and stuff, but then he went out of town for Thanksgiving or whatever. But one thing I've learned is, like, you know what? He's gonna spend time with his family. So, I'll say hi, hello here and there, whatever, but I'm not gonna bother a man when he's spending time with his family. Maybe that's something I shouldn't have learned because of my ex boyfriend, Mr. No Heart or whatever, but that is like that's what I'm used to, whatever. And so anyway, he comes back because, like, I told him about the weather and he kind of brushed it off at first, but then he got stuck in the state he was in for like 2 or 3 more days because of the weather, exactly what I was trying to tell him about or whatever. But then he got back home and he was kind of trying to blame me. He was like, why didn't you talk to me more? Why didn't you keep in contact with me more? And I'm like, you were out of town with your family members. You told me you were going to party with your cousins. You want me to text you while you're partying and having fun with your families that you're only going to see for a few days? What? That doesn't make any, like, and he was like, and oh, why do you put a period at the end of your sentences in a message? What? He was like, are you being condescending? I was like, are you trying to be blunt? Are you trying to be real? I'm like, it's a sentence. What? Because and it's so funny. I've had men blame me when I don't put the commas because sometimes if I'm like texting like crazy or whatever and it's a long message, sometimes I don't put the commas. But since I'm a writer, I had one man, he kept trying to dehumanize me. He was like, "Oh, so you're trying to write a novel, but you can't even write a proper message." Block, I don't got time for your stupidity, boy, shut up. But now I've got this guy. He was like, "Why do you put a period?" Because it's a sentence. So you're not trying to be condescending. Like those kind of men who are trying to start an argument, who are trying to start a fight, who are always trying to blame you for different things, like putting a period on a sentence at the end of a sentence. Whoo. So anyway, it's like when I would tell him like, "Yo, I didn't want to bother you," he was like, "Message me anyway." He was like, "If I can't answer, I can't answer." And I'm like, "Well, sometimes I'm going to be busy, so I'm not going to be messaging, blah, blah." He was like, "No, well, message me anyway." And I'm like, "Okay, so you expect me to keep messaging you, but then you expect me to wait for you to message me back." Red flag. And so basically, anyway, a couple days ago, I was like, "You know what? Block. I'm done." Because it's like I messaged him like because he's about to graduate with his master's or whatever, and so I'm like, "I hope your essay goes amazing, blah blah blah, whatever." And he hearts it, but he doesn't message back. And so 2 or 3 days later, no message. So I'm like, "You know what? I hope everything's good with you." And because I was already thinking, I think we're done or whatever. But then he doesn't message within 24 hours again. So I'm like, "You know what? You have a great day. You have an amazing life. I hope your businesses and your degree and everything is, as amazing as you want it to be." But I was like, "I'm good." And then I sent that and then I blocked his number. So the end. But yeah, that's not even the story I'm going to be talking about because later that night, babies, later that night, okay, there was this other guy who I met like a week or two before Mo, and he wasn't a match with me, but I saw that he was starting a business as a black man. I'm like, "You know what, we can at least network, we can talk, because it's not what you know, it's who you know." And as black people, especially black people trying to start businesses, I think we need to network and talk to each other. And a lot of black men get offended, like, "So you're not going to date me, so you're not going to sleep with me? I don't have any use for you then." And yeah, I've gotten so many messages, especially from, well, white men, but also especially black men. Black men who say they don't care about what women achieve. They don't care if women have education. They don't want women to have any accomplishments. Black men, yeah, I've torn you down so many times in so many episodes, but you guys just keep giving me more proof and evidence of why I keep dragging you. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, he's a black guy or whatever. So we've talked a couple times or whatever, but I stopped calling him after I think it was the third or fourth phone call, because one of the times he was like, "So if you're single, how do you get your needs met?" I was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it, or whatever." And because I'm talking about my goals and like me getting the supplies for my candles and everything like that or whatever. And like I'm working on the business plan, the new business plan, because my old one has my novels and my children's books, but it does not have the candles and the greeting cards and the activity books and things like that or whatever. And the YouTube channel. So I'm like totally redoing it or whatever. And he's like, "You're still working on that? You're still doing this? I was like, "I'm doing a lot." And especially with my disability, sometimes I have pain. Sometimes I'm in pain. Sometimes I'm doing work in bed. But since it's painful, I'm not doing as much as I would want because the pain. But then, like, five times in less than an hour, how do you get your needs met? How do you get your needs met? How do you get your needs met? How do you get your, it's like, it was to a point where I'm like, "Okay, can you stop asking that question?" And he said, "Okay," but then 15 to 20 minutes later, asked it again. I'm like, I think we're done tonight." He was like, "What do you mean? I'm just trying to figure you out. It's like, I think maybe I can help you out." Like, how? No. It's like, see, this is why, like, because there were a few things on his dating profile that I didn't think we would have meshed or matched with. And he was just proving my point of why I told him from the start that we were never going to be compatible. And so I didn't hear from him for about 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. I think that was like 2 or 3. No, it was like the week of Thanksgiving, I think, was that phone call. But anyways, a couple like literally a little less than 48 hours ago, he called me at around 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever. I'm working on my goals, uploading photos on Patreon for you guys and stuff like that. And he was like, how's everything? And it was like one of the oddest phone calls, because then he keeps asking, can I snatch you up for New Year's? What are you doing for New Year's? When are we going to hang out? When are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? Oh, you're still working on that business plan? And it's like, and I'm like, yes, because I'm working on if I'm going to have the seasonal and with my marketing plan and or with the marketing ideas and stuff. I'm trying to coordinate everything to the point where when I apply for the grants, they see my 5 year plan and what I hope to accomplish or whatever. And he's like, okay, yeah, whatever. And it's like it was really insulting. But then he just keeps asking all of these crazy questions, especially about snatching me up and going out, or me going out with him. And what city are you in? What city are you in? Oh, I don't know where that city is. It's like, okay, exactly what city? Because you said the area, you said the metro, you said this, and I'm like, what? I'm like, you're in the same state as me. You're in Michigan too. What are you talking about? And it's called, look it up on Bing. You got Bing Maps. You got Google Maps. You got some maps. Open it. It's like, because I get really annoyed because I'm a sapiosexual, so I get really annoyed when men don't know how to use their resources, how to use their brains in order to learn. It's like, because with me, when I hear a man talking about something and I'm like, you know what, okay, let me look it up real quick, because if I'm going to have a question, let me at least see, can I answer my own question, or can I at least answer my own basic question, so then I can ask better questions from it. So yeah, I've done that so many times. And it's like, and I admit it too. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I looked it up, and it's like I remember one guy who was like, oh dang, that's cool, thank you, and I'm like, it's not that big, yeah. So, but anyways, like he was just asking the weirdest questions, but then it's like, because I'm in this one goal group where throughout the week at a certain time we get on like get on the app or the site, and we have our discussions about our goals, our businesses, what we plan on doing, if we need help or if we need services from one of the other people in the group and stuff like that, because it's not what you know, it's who you know and stuff. So um yeah, it's I like oh, and I got into this group because of this guy, because he found out he was trying to get me to sleep with him. So he was like, "Oh, you're trying to start a business? So I know these people. Let me introduce you." And so he got me into the group or whatever. And I guess he's surprised that I'm still with the group, and I think he's upset because I'm still in the group and then I'm progressing with the group, because the night that my first night where I got to actually talk to the members, he starts an argument with one of the head person in the group, the top person in the group. And it's funny because now the top person and we have befriended each other, and like throughout like every week we talk to each other about our goals and our businesses and things like that. We toss around the ideas and everything like that. He is cool peoples, you know? But okay, so yesterday was one of our meetings, and I log on, and I'm like, I gotta tell him about this phone call. Because, yeah, again, my first time meeting him in on the site, they're in an argument, and it's like he even admitted, he was like, I didn't think you were gonna come back. And honestly, I didn't know if I was or not, because I was like, ooh. I was like, if they're gonna act like this, I don't think I can. But I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a second chance. Let me give it a second chance. And so I'm so extremely glad I did. But okay, so I logged on yesterday, and I'm ready to tell him about the phone call. I'm ready to tell him about the phone call. But guess what? This no good absolute jerk. I need one. Okay, I'm gonna call him B. I'll call him B. B called me, and he had me. He didn't record it, but he had me on speaker for all of his because he was trying to prove to them that he could snag me up. Because since I'm disabled, I'm a disabled black woman, and I'm an older disabled black woman, I must be desperate. So he was trying to show them up, like, oh yeah, she's gonna go out with me. It's like, because all of a sudden they were telling me about the phone call. Because before the phone call, he was like, oh, this B, oh yeah, she's a handicap B. This handicap B, blah, blah, blah. He called me the B word so many times. I'm just like, what? Huh, that's interesting. Oh, I can snag her up. Oh, I got her. Oh, it's going to be easy. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. Oh, I can get her. And oh, yeah. And so they were like, you had this boy. It was like he didn't get anything. He was like, we didn't hear the whole conversation at first. We didn't even think he really called you. But then it's like when he started talking about the goals meeting, he was like, oh no, he is talking to her, because he didn't even know that. I was like, because he was like, he didn't know that he knew that I started joining the goals meeting, and so that's how he knew it was me. But he was just like, yeah, you did a great job and everything like that. And I was like, so you guys heard that phone conversation? And he was like, yeah, but he was like, we didn't know it was you at first, because like we've heard your voice, but like we didn't know your voice all that well. And so yeah, if a man ever has to do that in order to prove themselves, if they have to stroke their ego that hard, that man needs to work on himself. He has some issues. He has some problems. And guys, this is why women choose the bear. Because if you have the nerve to do something like that, and then first you're gonna call me out my name and then put me down because of my handicap and disability and everything like that. And then you're gonna say you could just get me and snag me up because I'm a black woman with a disability that's a little older. So that means I must be easy to snag us stuff. Like, how rude and awful and terrible are you? Oh, but anyway, so him and I were talking, and then one of his other friends that was in, like, I don't like, I think it was only a few people that were listening to the phone call, but another person that was listening in came in like 2 hours later. Like, because at first we talked about the phone call, but then we're like, yeah, you know what? Let's talk about goals. Let's talk about our goals, what we plan on doing with our businesses, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about what we're doing for the week, because we're like, we're not going to let him stop us. And so then someone else who was listening in, he came in. At first, we're kind of talking about goals. He was talking about he wanted to get dinner or whatever. So we talked about food a little bit. But then also, it's like he kind of hinted. He kept hinting. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. You heard the phone call too? And oh my God, he was like, oh, dang. He was like, yeah, I did. I was there. And he was just like, but he was like, yeah, you got him though. I was like, thank you. And they were just like, he is such a liar and stuff. So next thing you know, they were like, you know what? We want you to be like in our stream tonight, because we want to see if he comes in, because we want to see if he's going to be lying or whatever, what he has to say or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. That he didn't even show up. And so part two of it's going to be pending. It's going to get interesting. But guys, why stoop to that? And so, why not work on you to the point where, because B has also told me, like, when we first met on the dating app or whatever, how he had to turn down a woman because after their first date she was in love with him, and she couldn't take her hands off of him, and how just amazing and blah, like, then I was like, I realized, no, he was just telling me that because he wanted to upgrade himself and sell himself, to the point where I'm like, well, if he's that amazing, I need to go out with him too. And even his friend hinted that I don't think he is safe to be around. And I had to agree. But okay, you know the drill. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too. Let's start part two.